Lamar Jackson once again disproves all of the haters, doubters, media pundits, and everybody in between with a spectacular MVP-esque performance against the Bengals. We're going to talk about it in just a second, but before we do, welcome to Flock Talk, your home for all things Baltimore Ravens football. If you are a fan of the Baltimore Ravens, this is the channel you want to be at. All we do is talk about your favorite team. So take a second, like the video, subscribe. We're trying to hit at least 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. That's been the goal, and we've made a lot of progress. So thank you all so much for the recent support. If we could continue that, I would greatly appreciate it. All of you are amazing. But enough of that. This video is a little different than what I normally do, and I'm not making this to gloat or sit here and go, nah, I told you guys, because Ravens Nation knows this. This video is more directed to the media pundits and the people who have doubted Lamar Jackson time and time again, and continue to do so. They will again. This game, if nothing else, will just be a temporary phase until the Ravens lose again, or maybe Lamar doesn't have the best game in the coming weeks, and the narrative will once again shift. But Lamar Jackson was absolutely spectacular. He was fantastic in this game, in particular the second half. For a guy that we've heard the same old narrative since he entered the league, things that we've all heard, such as he's a running back, he can't throw, he can't read coverage, he can't win a game with his arm, he can't play from behind, he can only play with a lead, he can't win big games, he's not good under pressure. And there's many more, but that's just a few. We've heard it, we've heard he's not consistent, we've heard it all. And for him to go out there in this game and go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow, who I think is a fantastic player, and go strike for strike in the second half, who many people consider Joe Burrow to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league as far as his passing ability. And I think that there's some truth to that, absolutely. The fact Lamar Jackson went out there and went toe-to-toe with him for the entire second half, when his defense could not stop a leaky faucet, he just did not stop. And credit to the rest of the offense as well. They all showed up. His receivers, his tight ends, everybody showed up in that offense. So not to discredit them by any means, but Lamar Jackson has done this time and time again. And yet he's still labeled as a guy who can't throw the ball, or who doesn't deliver under pressure. Now, I will not be surprised if there's people that are getting the comments of this video and say, well, he did it once. Boo-hoo. But we know that he has done it more than once. That's just, we know that. We've seen it. But the narrative's not going to flip. It's set in stone. Oh, he just did it one time, but then it'll be, oh, well, he hasn't done it in the playoffs. But then he'll do it in the playoffs, and it'll be, well, he didn't do it in the Super Bowl. And then if he does it in the Super Bowl and say loses, it'll be, well, he didn't win the Super Bowl. The point is, the goalpost habitually moves on Lamar Jackson. It always does. It always does. For one point of hypocrisy to look at, Josh Allen this year. Now, Josh Allen's a talented quarterback. No doubt about that. The Bills we're seeing what I thought and many others thought they would be without any wide receivers. They have no weapons. So Josh Allen obviously is not looking like Josh Allen of old the last couple of weeks. They're I don't want to say being exposed, but he completed 9 passes Sunday against Houston. That's not good. Lowest of his career. And the narrative for him is he has no weapons. He has nobody to throw the ball to, which is true. I'm not saying it's not. But where was that energy when Lamar Jackson was throwing to Willie Snead? No disrespect to Willie Snead, but you get my point. The energy has changed all of a sudden. And looking at the Bengals in overtime, when they ran the ball 3 straight times, when they were lighting up the Ravens defense. Now, I don't agree with that necessarily. I understand the risk of getting sacked or turning the ball over is there, but I think you should have put the ball in Joe Burrow's hands when he's delivered all game long and given him a chance to at least make it a more manageable field goal for Evan McPherson. They didn't do that. So the narrative for him is, well, his coach didn't put him in the best position to win. This isn't Joe Burrow's fault, and I'm not saying this game is on Joe Burrow, but it's the coach's fault. But when Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game, they completely abandoned their identity and run the ball 6 times with their running backs, that's on Lamar Jackson. And I know not everybody said that, but that's how some people take it. Well, he didn't deliver in the big game. It continues to move, and that's what made this game so delightful for me as a Ravens fan, as a Lamar Jackson fan who's been rooting for him since he came in the league, to see him once again come out and deliver in such a amazing fashion. Some of the plays he made were I keep using the word spectacular, but that's the word that is on my mind when I think of this game. That play where he fumbled the snap and then stiff-armed Sam Hubbard and then tossed it up to Isaiah Likely, fantastic. I agree with, who was it, Stephen A. Smith, I think it said, that there was 3 quarterbacks in the league that he believed could do that. Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. And I think that's probably true. That is phenomenal. And this is, you're starting to hear him talk about in the conversation for his 3rd MVP. Rightfully so. Now, whether that gets there, there's a long way to go. But this game was just a dazzling performance from Lamar Jackson. And once again, disproves the same old narrative since he entered the league that he can't do it with his arm. He can do it in any which way he needs to win the game. And that is a fact that I will be willing to defend to anybody at any time. Is he always perfect? Of course not. But the dude is a baller, and he just plays with such a chip on his shoulder. The fact that after this game, you could tell he was very unhappy with himself because he fumbled that snap in overtime. That is what makes Lamar Jackson. That competitive edge, that he expects perfection out of himself, is fantastic. That is why he is a 2-time MVP, and I believe he will be a Super Bowl champ sooner than later. Maybe not with this past defense, but that's another conversation for another day. But Lamar Jackson is a stud. He is a superstar, and he can beat you in any which way he needs to win the game. And if he can continue to build off of this performance, it's going to make the Ravens impossible to defend. Impossible. Because what are you going if you sell out to stop Derrick Henry, which defenses are going to, that's what they're going to do, is say, Lamar, you're going to have to beat us with your arm. If Lamar can replicate this performance throughout the season, good luck, NFL. That's all I can say. Because if the receivers show up like they did in this game, if Lamar's got that magic touch like he did in this game, good freaking luck. Because what do? Pick your poison. Obviously, you don't want Derrick Henry running for 200 yards on you. So you sell out to stop him. The Bengals did a really good job of doing that until overtime. But Lamar said, okay, well, here you go. Here you go, Zay. Here you go, Bate. Here you go, Likely. Here you go, Mark. Here you go, Kohler. What do you do? What do you do? Absolutely stellar performance from this man yet again. That is our 2-time MVP and my quarterback, Lamar Jackson. So I want to know what you guys think. What were you? I'm sure you all were all just as blown away as I was, but let me know in the comments. Where does this game rank? Where does this performance rank from Lamar Jackson? To me, maybe it's recency bias, but this goes down to me as one of my favorite Lamar Jackson games of all time. For many reasons, but a lot of what I just mentioned is that we just constantly hear and how incapable he is of using his arm. And to see him go out there and go toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow was absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see all the media pundits eat their words, at least for this coming week. Like I said, there's probably going to be people in the comments of this video that are saying, oh, he did it one game. And then next week, if they go out and lose, it's going to be back to the same old narrative of Lamar can't deliver. Where's that energy with Joe Burrow and the Bengals sitting at 1-4? Now, I'm not putting that on Joe Burrow, but we know if it were the Ravens, it would be on Lamar Jackson. Because what was the narrative when the Ravens lost to the Chiefs? Lamar can't get it done. Lamar missed 2 passes at the end of the game. Well, that's not acceptable. He can't beat Mahomes. Joe Burrow has an awful record against Lamar Jackson. When are we going to hear the talk that Joe Burrow can't get over the Lamar Jackson hump? I'm waiting. ESPN pundits, Fox pundits, NFL Network pundits, I'm waiting. We'll see. Maybe somebody will. Maybe this will finally be brought up because it's a dominant record Lamar has over Joe Burrow. And I'm not trying to crack too much on Joe Burrow. I think he is a very good player, but I'm just comparing the narrative surrounding these two superstar quarterbacks. Like I said, let me know where does this rank, his performance rank in your eyes, Ravens Nation. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Each and every one of you, your support means the world to me. If you could drop a comment, like the video, Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to blow this platform up, and I need all of you watching to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you tuning in, and I will see you all in the next video. Go Ravens!